Really not having a lot of hassle, really having a lot of hassle with trying to explain to people about the VAT on printed materials, although it's really, really easy. People are obsessed with this tax number, VAT registration, mainly because they think that it's quite serious, but it's not actually that serious when it's small things, when it's small supply of... If it's a big business and you're supplying a large amount of things, it's quite serious because all those are registered. But the thing is, individuals or small businesses aren't registered anyway, and they don't have to register at all. And the main thing is that you're not going to have a VAT number and you're not going to register for that if you're small. But that doesn't really matter, because the majority of things that you would be buying or need as services for something that is for petitioning or political matters, the vast majority of the items that you would need or use, regardless of if you are an individual or if you are a huge political party or whatever, and the same really goes for charities and businesses, is that the items, the actual item itself is itself, regardless of who is purchasing it, zero rated. Like your small advertisements and your addresses to the public concerning elections and voting and handbills, all those things that you would be using are zero rated items, regardless of who's buying it. When they're selling it and making them, they're zero rated. Now, the thing is that companies don't realise that depending on what they're making, manufacturing, the tax changes item to item. They're knocking out items that have variable tax. And it tells you if you make an item that is eligible for no tax, or that you're not supposed to pay tax on it, you tax it, you do tax it. But when you write down the tax value, you write 0%. You write down this item is taxed at 0%. You don't give, the person who's buying it doesn't need to do anything. They don't need to record any details or identity or anything, because they're not going to have any if they're an individual or a very small charity or even a very small business. Like even if you're buying advertising leaflets for a very small business, the leaflets themselves are zero rated. The person doesn't have a VAT number. This is the thing. You're manufacturing items that have a variable taxing rate depending what the item is, not who's buying it. You know, this is the thing. But here, this is where it gets interesting on this page here. This is to do with services outside Britain. If you pay for services outside Britain, and you're getting those services electronically over computers, and they're just basically electronic services, even if you're benefiting from those services, if the services are provided from outside England, you don't pay tax on them. They're not actually taxable. And there's even, in fact, in the entire Tax Act and in the entire VAT Act, the whole thing, I've typed in the word political and it only appears twice. I just cannot believe that. And one of the items is here under C, under this supply of items from overseas on the electronically. The supply of political, cultural, artistic, sporting, scientific, educational, entertainment broadcast, including broadcaster events, and the supply of... All right, so electronic, it could be like really digital or service. So you could have a political part. Well, if you've got a political party in England, and you want an advertisement, and someone is going to like make an advert for you, or they're going to provide a service to broadcast an advert for you, but they're outside England. You don't pay cultural and sports as well. It says for charities, you could have a charity. You don't pay for it. It's not taxable. This is why I'm really annoyed with what happened when Donald Trump became president, and they started charging us tax on shipping for items. When you ship an item, you have to declare what it is, right? What the item itself is. It's in a box. What's in the box? What's the item? Well, you have to write down it in wording what the item is. But if there's no item there, you've got nothing to declare. You're not sending anything. So if you send a postman, right, to deliver nothing, what are you declaring that he's delivering? You aren't declaring anything. So you've sent him for nothing. He's still, like, if you send a courier, right, with nothing, like not even a bag of air, not even like a plastic carrier bag with oxygen in it, nothing, just nothing in his hand. If you pay him to deliver something, right, what are you declaring that he's delivering, and how do you work the tax out on it? He's not delivering anything. So he walks and he travels for nothing, really. He's just having a bit of exercise. There is nothing. So the thing is that it is a service from outside the country. I know it's a physical service because he's doing something, but, if someone's, providing an electronic broadcast, they have to press the button to send it or do something. They've got to send the broadcast. If you buy a charity electronic advertisement from abroad and it's digital, and then, you can hear it in the speakers in England for a charity, right? Someone did something. They lifted a finger. They lifted a finger to activate it, right? And therefore they moved, right? They moved they walked their fingers across the desk, right, to supply the advertisement electronically, right? Now, you're not charged for that. You're not charged for it outside England. So when you deliver nothing, right, and a delivery guy in America sets off in his van and he's got a load of parcels and your parcel's nothing because he hasn't got anything for you, because you've got nothing to declare, how can you be charged for it? You can't. Now, the thing is, even if he delivers you some small advertisements aren't taxable in England anyway, right? Small advertisements are zero rated in England anyway, so are handbills, right? So if he delivers you them from America, why are you going to pay tax on shipping? You're not going to pay tax on shipping. And the thing is, part of the journey isn't even in this country, What's worse is that, think items are taxed on a rate that what the item is. So if you've got nothing to declare, how do you even know which class of item it's in? What they're trying to make out since Donald Trump is that if the item's taxable, then suddenly the parcel and delivery service becomes taxable as well, right? If it's not taxable, then it's not. But the service doesn't exist. You're not receiving a benefit from anything. You pay tax on an item, right? Now, you might say, well, you're getting a benefit because you want it delivered. Well, you're getting an electronic service delivered from abroad, but someone has to do work someone has to lift a finger to send it. This wasn't being disputed before Donald Trump, and he had a grievance. Donald Trump and David Cameron and the governments had a grievance over certain activities going on, people sending items from abroad, because they were ripping people off in the first place anyway, and they didn't like that people were, let's say, maybe not being honest about certain things. So what they've done is they've slammed the hammer down on us and they've punished us. But in doing that, they're lying. They've just changed the fundamental. It's like with a lot of it's like Max Hill's ignored 2 entire acts of law to get criminal damage charge. We've just got deep-rooted corruption, and they think they've got the power to change meaning, but you can't. When you've got nothing to declare, then you can't declare a tax for it, and even if it is taxable, that's the item is being taxed. The item, when you receive the item, you haven't received like a personal delivery guy. You know, if you're taxing like the Valley, it's almost like saying that Donald Trump gets a private his personal delivery guy to bring him his golf clubs from America, his new set of golf clubs. He receives the golf clubs, right? And then when when the postman goes, you've got no bet. The item is still what the item's worth, right? So how can you be taxed on getting it there? Tax is based on the benefit you've got, it's almost like you're getting a delivery service, but no, I'm not getting a delivery service. If I had a delivery service, I would have people delivering things for me. I would have like a personal, it's almost like odd job, like an odd job guy hanging around, to do things for me. This is the thing. If and also in England as well, when you pay for postage in England, if you're getting it from abroad, surely that the American half of the delivery shouldn't be taxed in England, only the half of the journey anyway. So the thing is, the main part of it is that they weren't actually doing it, and they just suddenly, what it is? When David Cameron suddenly started saying that the national speed limit was 60 miles an hour, to vans getting done on single carriageways, saying it was 60 miles an hour, not 70 on a single carriageway, saying that a normal van is not a car, when a van is a car, because it's not classed as a goods vehicle, right? It was then, and they just ignored fact that, vehicles under 3.5 tonne are not regarded as goods vehicles. And it fell in with that. There were a few things they started doing because they were pissed off and annoyed, and they wanted to punish us. Some of us personally, Cameron, it was a vengeance, revenge. So what they did is they become even more corrupt. When you've got illegal road signage around the country, it's all right being corrupt, but what you don't do is, in order to solve it, strike out like, the emperor, strike back in vengeance at everybody, and then go even more into corruption and even more into lies. That's wrong. Rather than, the fact that they want to rip us off anyway, and then they've got all these trades set up with China, and what you pay nothing. You can buy whatever you want from China on eBay. It costs you nothing. It costs you peanuts, because they want us to do it. So why should you be charged with America? They don't want us to trade with America, become friends with American people.